Hey everybody, Bart here, Bart's Wood Shop. Thanks for joining me today. Today's project is going to be something a little bit like something I've done in the past. I'm going to be making another flag, but this one here is going to be special. It's for a United States Marine. So it's going to have the logo on it, and it's going to be blacked out, and it's going to be pretty cool looking. So stay tuned and join me, and we're going to get working on this thing. It's going to look great. Alright, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut all the boards to a proper length, mark them out, run them through the saw, cut them all exactly the same length. Alright, now that all the boards are cut to length, it's time for the fun part. Laying the torch. Alright, now that I've blackened out every other board, we're going to lay them out just like this. And then I made this little jig just to kind of keep them square. Just two boards I put together. Made sure that they were square when I screwed them down and whatnot. Now we're going to go back with the torch, just kind of give it a little accent, just so that the yellow pine isn't just so stark against the black. So we're trying to make it a little more rustic looking. We're going to add a little bit of color, pop that grain out on the boards. I like to give it a little extra around the knots. I think that looks pretty neat. That's the fun part about working with this pine is the knots. They've got real interesting grain in them and whatnot. Alright, now that I've got the light colored boards the way I like them, it's time to make a measurement, and we're going to make the union next. The union's where the stars belong on the flag. And it's just a matter of marking them out, making sure I got all my lines straight, and having them proportioned properly. Alright, so now that I got my measurements, it's time to square it off. Show me exactly where I need to start the union on the top of the flag. I use this metal square because it's heat resistant. And what we're going to do is we're just going to torch right up against the square, and that should lead me a nice line to my union. And once I got that initial line going, I could just black out the rest of it. So the next step is to glue up the boards. I've lost the footage for some reason of me actually applying the glue between the boards, but I guess, you know, it's not super important other than it was glued. And now that we're using the clamps just to hold everything tight together, I don't have enough of bar clamps that are long enough, so what I do is I clamp them down and I screw a piece of wood to the top to allow pressure between the top of the jig and the bottom of the jig as to where the clamp was. And then I'll move the clamp, I'll tighten that side down a little more, and then I'll screw another board. And that just keeps even pressure on it and saves me some extra clamps that I don't have. Template, piece of vinyl, and my wife cut it out on her little Cricut machine. And it's the size I made it to be. I use this little rasp bit on the Dremel, and I literally just carve out the stars. It doesn't need to be super deep. I just want to knock all the black off and make the yellow pine shine through. This is a little bit tedious. It kind of takes me a long time to get this all done, but once I kind of get rolling with it, it's not so bad. Alright, the last star. Carpal tunnel sets in. But that's the last one. Get it all carved out. Alright, now it looks like flag. Time for the Marine Corps crest we're going to put on this. I had I found a guy on Etsy who does laser cutting, and he made this particular piece for me. And what we're basically going to do is we're going to mark out where I want it. I'm going to darken up the background a little bit, and then we're going to literally epoxy it right to the face of the flag. So here I am mixing the epoxy. We gotta make sure we mix it real good, because epoxy's fussy like that. If you don't mix it well enough, it's not going to stick properly. I'm going to put a good amount of epoxy on all of the flat surfaces on the back. I'm going to try to avoid the spaces where the letters and the symbols are just because I don't want to see any kind of bleed through of the epoxy, because it's real difficult to remove. So anytime there's a big flat spot, there's going to get a lot on there, and wherever the smaller spots are is going to get a little bit on there. But I want enough on there so it's going to hold on there forever. And you can see where I darkened out on the flag and the circle behind it. And what we're going to do is just press it down, make sure that epoxy sets, and then we're just going to start adding some weights to it. Got my good old bucket of bolts, which is nice and heavy. A couple of power tools. And that's it. Let it sit. Now that's the following day, the epoxy has fully set. It's time to make some adjustments to the flag here. The Marine logo is very stark and white and doesn't really match the rest of the flag. So we're going to kind of torch it up a little bit and make it match the rest of the flag. This takes a long time because I don't want to burn it too much. I just want it, just enough where it'll look like it's part of the flag and belongs with it. The thing about torching things is you can't untorch it once you've torched it, especially on a piece like this. So after several really light passes with the torch, you can see that it's starting to get that little toasty brown to it, but it's not blacked or burned out. All right, everybody, here it is, the finished project. I think it came out pretty good. I'm hoping my customer likes it. The Marine Corps Crest, I had purchased it from a man who does laser cutting on Etsy. If I find his link, I'll put it in the description below. He's got all kinds of neat things that he makes as well. He's not an advertiser or anything like that. I just liked his product, so I bought it. Turns out I really liked it. So I'll probably be buying more in the future. But that's the finished project. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you like what you saw today, please hit that like button and subscribe. Ring that bell. This way you're informed on all the new videos that I come up with. And hopefully I'll have some other stuff coming up soon. And I'm real proud of this last project. I do support our armed forces and our law enforcement highly. They have some of the hardest jobs out there, and thank God for them. All right, that's it all I got for today, so have a blessed day. Take care.